Hello, Ms. Hua, and here's my presentation about Google Analytics. I'm Phương Thành, and today we aren't just looking at charts, we're looking at the digital footprint that can make or break our business. Okay, so imagine you turn on your air conditioning in the middle of a blazing summer, but then you left every single door and window wide open. You're spending money, energy, and effort, but it's all escaping right out the window. So that is exactly what running a business without digital analytics is like. Digital analytics is the process of collecting data from users as they interact with your website to give you a clear picture of reality. In other words, analytics allows you to close those windows. It ensures your time, energy, and money aren't being wasted by showing you exactly where your marketing spend is going and if it's actually working. So, how does this actually grow your business? It's simple. Knowledge is profit. Research shows us that people buy in stages. They don't just click and buy, they explore. Imagine a user sees your ad on Snapchat, they click through to page A. Another user sees your ad while playing a video game and lands on page B. Without analytics, they are just visitors. But with analytics, you know exactly which ad lead led to a sale and which one was a waste of money. You can see if mobile users are struggling to check out or if your site is too slow. It allows you to double down on what works, like expanding a successful marketing campaign, and fix what doesn't. But how does it know all this? Magic? No. It works on a tiny piece of HTML code, a tag that we install on your website. When a user lands on your site, the HTML code drops a cookie. As a user moves from page to page, that cookie reports back to Google. Hey, they came from Facebook. Now they're on About page. Now they are using an iPhone. It's like that. It collects data on demographics, location, language, and even the technology they are using to browse. This is the engine under the hood. Now, before we jump into exploring the tool, we need to speak the language. Here, here are the terms you'll see every day. The first one is page views. Simple. How many times a page is loaded? Hit refresh. That's another page view. It's different from unique page views. If I visit the same page 5 times in one session, it only counts as one unique page view. It tells you how many people saw it, not just how many loads like page views. Another one is visits. A session or a session. A session is a single visit to your site. If a user leaves and come back 30 minutes later, new sessions. How about users? The individual people, they are the individual people. If they visit 10 times, they are one user. And users are divided into two terms. New users are people who have never been to your site before or they cleared their cookies. And the returning users, they are the loyal fans. People have visited at least once before in your website. So groups are users are the segments. This is how we slice the pie. You can create a segment of just people from New York or just people who bought shoes. It lets you analyze specific groups. How about hits? It's the raw data. Every time a page loads or an event happens, a hit is sent to Google. It's the heartbeat of your tracking code. Landing pages. The very first page a visitor enters on. Remember that every page can be a landing page, not just your homepage. Bounce rates. The percentage of people who land on a page and leave without doing anything. High bounce rates isn't always bad, like a high bounce rate on a blog, but with the store, it may be some trouble. Next is the time on page. How long they stayed on a specific page. It measures the time between them arriving and moving to the next page. Contents. This refers to your actual pages and assets. Analytics tracks which specific content pieces are performing the best. Direct traffic. People who typed your URL directly or used a bookmark. These are often your most loyal returning users. And different from that is referral traffic. Visitors who clicked a link on another website, like a blog or news article, to get to you. And finally is events and goals. The most important part. Events are action, like clicking a button, and goals are the big wins, like sales, downloads, or signups. Okay, so let's get our hands dirty. I'm going to show you how to set up an account live. Here I use the instruction video from Google Analytics to demonstrate. So to set up a new Google Analytics account, first we visit the website of analytics.google.com and then select Start Measuring. Then name the account and choose your data sharing settings. We'll name our account My New Account and then scroll down and select Next. You can create multiple properties under an analytics account, but most small and medium-sized businesses will have a single account and property depending on structure for things like lines of business, parent entities, and more. Name your property and select the time zone and currency for your reports. Then you'll answer a couple of basic questions about your business. Let's say we are the medium-sized business. And then click Yes. So next, you will be asked to choose your business objectives. This step is important because it will generate reports specific to the business objectives that you choose. If you're unsure, choose the Get Baseline Reports option. You can always change and customize these reports later, but choosing your correct business objective will make the reports more relevant to your business. So now we have to connect the brain, which is the Google Analytics, to the body, which is your website. So we will use measurement ID for this. So if you're on WordPress, you likely use a plugin like Jetpack. So here's the instruction. After clicking the Create button, which I have mentioned before, we'll then go ahead and then go ahead and accept the term of service agreements. And on the data collection screen, select Web as your platform. Below website URL, type your domain without the www and then add your stream name. This can be your site's title again. So when you're done, click the Create and Continue button in the top right. You will then be requested to set up a Google tag, also known as a measurement ID. You add this tag or ID to your and WordPress site so that Google Analytics can track your activity. It automatically picked up that I'm using a WordPress site, so then we go ahead and select Next. Under option 2, copy your tag ID, which we are going to paste into our site. Please note, you do not need to follow instructions to set up a site kit. You will use the WordPress.com interface to set up the measurement ID. And after that, the next step is connecting your site. Visit your site's dashboard and then navigate to Jetpack and select Traffic. And then you'll see the option to add Google Analytics. But if you have a higher tiered plan, you can make your way to Jetpack, select Settings, and then navigate to Traffic. And then scroll down to the Google Analytics section over here and enable your Google Analytics followed by pasting your measurement ID or your tag ID and then save your setting. Your site will now connect to Google Analytics and send data to Google. It may take 24 to 48 hours for Google to start displaying your site's information. Okay, so how about Shopify users? Creating the same steps to get the property and measurement ID as I mentioned before with WordPress. So now we're going to connect the property that you've just created to your store. And now I'm going to show you how to connect your store to Google Analytics using Google and YouTube app. By using this app, you can automatically start tracking e-commerce events in your Google Analytics property without any additional configuration. Log into your Shopify dashboard. If you don't have the app installed, you can find it in the Shopify App Store and add it to your website. On the app page, click Get Started to begin the connection process. Now, select the property you just created from the drop-down menu, then click on Create. You should see the message to let you know that you've successfully set up Google Analytics 4. Okay, so after we connect our Google Analytics to our website, welcome to the Command Center. This is your home dashboard. Now we're gonna explore the detail of this dashboard. First clicks on the reports. We will have all the data of our websites in this part. And look at these real time over here. The real time data shows us who is on our site right now. It is perfect for seeing if that email blast you sent is working. We can see here is the active users in the last 30 minutes or the last 5 minutes, and the bubble shows where they are. The next is acquisition. So acquisition feature answers the questions of how the customer found us. Was it is the Google organic search, or from social media such as Facebook link or Instagram, or a newsletter from email. And the next feature is engagement. So engagement features shows the events or page views or the landing pages. And we can also analyze the time on page, the page views or the unique page views. Coming up with monetization. In here, we can see the performance of our shop, which is the revenue or the purchase revenue or the total revenue or the total purchasers, average purchase revenue per active users. And also we can see the purchase journey of the customers. We can see whether from the first part when the session starts to when they view the products to add to cart, begin checkout, and purchase. And retention over here. Retention would show the number of new users, returning users, and the user retention or the engagement by cohort. Moving up next is the user attributes in user part. The user attributes tells us that who the customers are, the such as the demographic, the city, the gender, interest, or language, or even by age. And take over the bottom of here is that tech is where we see whether they are using their phones or websites or yes, their phone or websites or the browsers they use or the device category or the even screen's resolution or the latest app. And don't forget the date range on over here. We can see that you can compare the this week's traffic to last week's traffic to see if you're growing or not. And the rest right here is Explore. Let me show you what Explore is. So Explore is where you can set up the new charts to explore your database on your needs. And finally is the advertising. Let me show you. So the advertising would shows our advertising data to for us to track whether it is effective or not. So in here we will have the key events or conversions or some tools, especially effective when we use Google Ads. With the user interface, we've just scratched the surface. Google Analytics isn't just a tool; it's your roadmap, and it tells you where your customers are, what they love, and where they are getting stuck. Don't let your digital AC run with the windows open. Now we will start tracking, start learning, and start growing your business today. Thank you for watching.